Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Marsh King's Daughter. I don't know, the synopsis in this is very bleak. A woman seeks revenge against a man who kidnapped her mother. Alright, fair enough, digging it. Daisy Ridley is in it, you know, from Star Wars fame. Ben Mendelsohn is in it from everything else. I didn't even look at anybody else. Oh, Garrett Hedlund, he's in it. I like him. And I don't know, maybe somebody else. It's only 6.2 on IMDb, but only 1,252 people rated it so far. It's on Amazon Prime. Let's check it out. It's an hour and 48 minutes long, so stick around. I'll let you know what I think. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of The Marsh King's Daughter. And once again, I almost stopped it really quick in the beginning. I will tell you this. Well, I'll tell you a couple of things, of course. But one, the synopsis on IMDb does not do this movie justice at all. And I like it. I'm warning you, I like it because I went into it and got a much different picture than what they gave me, right? And so, it's going to be really hard for me to share anything because I think the surpriseness, the ambiguity, I know I make up a word and I probably use one incorrectly, that I went into this with really helped me enjoy it. The beginning, I don't know if it's called the first act or whatever, the first 20 to 30 minutes of this film had me gripped, right? I was in. I thought this is okay, alright. I had no idea what's going on. This is fantastic. I love the way that they set that up. And some things I will be able to share with you. What's his name? Ben Middleton, right? So Ben Middleton's a little bit older now. And this is, you know, they go back in time, right? So they show a younger version of all the actors and actresses that show up in the beginning. And, you know, at first I couldn't even recognize him. I didn't realize who he was. So I had played out in my head who everybody is, right, in this movie based on what that small blurb I read. And anyway, so I'm like, okay, where does Ben Middleton's character fit into all this? And then he's there, and I'm like, oh wow, that's him. And they did the same thing like they did, I always remember Tron, which is interesting because Garrett Hedlund was in the new Tron, the newer Tron, not that, but they did the Jeff Bridges, I think it was Jeff Bridges, right? They did him looking younger in that, and that was my first glimpse into the way that they can make people look younger now, which is phenomenal. And they do that here. I'm sure it's different technology, but it looks great. Like, he looks young in it, and like, wow, unbelievable. I'm sure there's a lot into it, makeup and CGI and blah 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 blah, but great. You know, and eventually he gets to the current present day Ben Middleton character. So that was really cool. But then that whole opening thing, the whole setup of this, really, I was hooked, I was in, I was like, wow, what a great job of getting you into this movie. Now I will say this, while I love that was 10 out of 10, I thought, the way that they did that. Once it gets past that threshold, I don't know what happened. Not that I wasn't terribly interested, but I did find myself on my phone, which, like I said, in the beginning, I was all in. I would have never thought of looking at my phone. Nothing magical happened that made me look at my phone. It just, I was like, oh, maybe I need new pull sticks or something like that, you know? And I was like, and so it lost its luster, if you will, right after that. I kept trying to put it down and going back to it. And it wasn't that it wasn't, you know, it wasn't terribly interesting. I don't know if it became very predictable to me or common, but I didn't feel like I was going to miss anything. It wasn't like sometimes when I get on my phone, I'll pause it. I know I'm using my phone as a reference, so I do that a lot. Just to give you an idea of my mindset. And that kind of was odd for me. Like, I was so into this. I loved it. There was one aspect that I was looking for. They hit on it. Maybe I'll throw that in a spoiler piece if you want to hear it. But other than that, I guess I just kind of, you know, knew what was going to happen after that. Not saying what I predicted was right. I'm just saying the whole flow of the movie after a certain point just becomes, oh, okay. you know. I think when I talk about that spoiler piece, and one other thing I want to share, I think they could maybe elaborated on that a little bit more to make it a little bit more different for me. But in the end, I don't know. I still thought the acting was great. She, Daisy Ridley, she's really good. And the role that she plays, I think she plays really well. Like I don't know, like, so as they say in the IMDb, she's revenging the mother who was kidnapped. So obviously her mother was kidnapped at some point. She plays that kind of person pretty well. And I'm probably saying, like, what kind of person? I don't know. Built differently, like not sentimental. You know, doesn't, more guarded. And you know, that kind of thing, and you'll see what I mean when you go through it. Like, scenes where she's hugging her husband, and you could just tell it's not like she's weeping; she's thinking. You know, so I think she plays that really well. She doesn't play the, you know, other roles. I'm not saying that she doesn't, but she fits that role really well. That's what I'll say. I thought Garrett's role was interesting, you know, and what they decided to do with his character, standoffish, not overprotective. I'll say. I know you're going to be like, what? You have to watch the movie. You'll see what I mean. See if you pick up on it. And Ben Middleton is phenomenal in everything he does. So I just enjoyed him, and he played his roles really well too. So great setup, great story, and I don't know, you know. So there you go. That's what I got for you. I don't know where I am. I was at a 10 at 25 minutes. If I came back to like a 6. The other, so is that going to be more of a 7, 6 or 7? I don't know. I just love the setup of this film. So let me jump into my spoiler piece again. I'm not going to ruin the film. I just want to talk about the one thing that I was going to call out. They referenced it and then moved past it. So without going, so if you haven't seen it, you don't want to learn anything more about it. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you stuck around, appreciate it. No problem. So the whole setup, right? And then he gets arrested. My thought was the whole time, like, he could just play it off as like, no, I didn't do that. We chose to do that together, and just because we got in a fight, that's what she's saying, right? She's saying she was kidnapped, right? And that's not what really happened. We chose to live together in the woods and have a baby and be a family and stuff like that. And I think, and they touch on that, right? He does say that. But it's so insignificant at that point. She was already beyond that. I think if you know, he could have played that off, even if you wanted to, play that a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, maybe get her to start believing. Maybe Little Shadow starts to believe this, you know, and they show instances of flashbacks of how that connects and really mess with not only her mind but our mind. And like, wow, wait, maybe this is true. They just jump past it so quickly, and they get to where they need to go, which is down that same mundane path that I thought they were going the whole time. I think if they could have messed with our minds again, a second time, that would have entertained me a little bit more. So, like that, and now I finally think, a lot of times, if I could rewrite them, that would have been my rewrite right there. Is finally when they connect, boom, have that out for a little bit, and then have him come back and say, no, 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 we were a family, like, and make her think that, and maybe she does some different actions that start to lead, and then of course come down and tell the truth or whatever. But that, I think, would have put the nail in the coffin for me, saying, okay, that was great. So there you go. I wanted to throw that out there. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what your thoughts are, and that's it. Kimmel's Irish Pub.